Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Hala Paramata Pagayawan. I am the second reporter from our group and I'll be discussing Humanism Learning Theory, Connectivism Learning Theory, and Transformative Learning Theory. Now, without further ado, let's start. First, Humanism Learning Theory by Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. Often called humanism, focuses on the specific human capabilities including creativity, personal growth, and choice. So self-actualization is the main goal of this learning theory. Learners should have their voice in their learning processes, and that human are innate to create and learn something. It is not because of religious or divine spiritual matters, but it was through philosophy or human factors that are based on science. Now, this theory have this approach, counseling learning. So teachers tend to, students tend to say something, and then teachers should listen carefully. Next, silent approach. So we have here an example. First, the teachers will read. They will initially read the passage. Example: yellow, orange, red. And after that they kept quiet as much as possible, and the learners will now associate specific colors with specific tones or specific intonation of the words. Example, we have here yellow, orange, and red. So we have the e for E from yellow, and from red. So we have also the O from yellow and O from orange. We have the R from orange and R from red. So we can analyze that E from yellow and E from red have the same pronunciation, and O from yellow and O from orange have the same pronunciation. Similar with that R from orange and R from red. So that is how silent way approach. The teachers will only initially read the passage, and then the learners will then have to analyze the passage through the colors incorporated with the pronunciation of the language. Now, total physical response. Total physical response, the teachers tend to say the word or say the language with specific action. So example, if I say hi, the students, if I am the teacher, I will say hi, and the students will then follow. They will say hi. If I say run as a teacher, then the students will then comply, run. So total physical response, teachers tend to say the word and then at the same time do the action in order for the learners to learn the language incorporated or associated with action. Now, humanistic learning theory, we can summarize that learners can be trusted to find their own goals, because since self-actualization, or since learners is the very central of this learning theory, they get to nurture their own according to the goals they tend to. And the school also helps the students to develop positive relations with their peers. So the teachers will only act as facilitators, meanwhile learners will have the central role for this humanistic learning theory. Now, connectivism learning theory, wherein from the word connect, in this learning theory, knowledge is distributed across a network of connections, and therefore learning consists of the ability to construct and traverse those networks. So we have to interact, we have to connect with group of people, with individuals within group of people within a network in order for us to learn, in order for learning to occur. And that it's stated that the strength of the tie and level of interaction defines the magnitude of learning. So kung the better or the stronger the connection or the interaction within the groups or within the networks, then the magnitude or the higher the level of learning. Now, we have here the attributes of network. So we have autonomy. So autonomy, the students or the learners can have the say, or can have their own, or can associate their learning, their topic, or the lesson that should be learned within their own interest. So sila yung pipili, autonomy. Sila yung pipili kung ano yung kung saang grupo nila pumunta or kung ano yung pag-uusapan nila doon sa grupo. Next, diversity. So diversity, they get to have the different choices or different diverse language lessons or different individuals that have different pronunciations, intonation, different level ng learning. So ang mga students or the group or the network should have that kind of diversity or differences. Then next, openness. So openness, of course, due to the presence of diversity, of course, everyone should be, or the network or the group should be open. Not, of course, um, in order, of course, to contradict or with the absence of discrimination. Now, next, interactivity. So, of course, having networks, individuals involved in that network should be interactive or should have the interaction with each other because, yun nga, connectivism is through interaction mangyayari ang learning. Now, connectivism approaches complies with both of these approaches, such as naturalistic and instructed foreign language acquisition. So when we say naturalistic communication and social interaction, and when we say instructed foreign language acquisition, we say that instructor and other assistive materials get to help in the learning process. So when we say connectivism, dalawa ang process, both it complies both the naturalistic and instructed foreign language. Now lastly, transformative learning theory by Jacques Mezirow. According from transformative learning theory naman, we already have this initial knowledge or prior knowledge about something, and that with the existence of another experience, or because we tend to question these initial knowledge, then we come up with new expressive perspectives or new beliefs or assumptions or knowledge. So we have here, so actually this learning theory has 10 phases, but it was reduced to 4 segments, which is now called Nernstrom transformative learning model. We have here experience, assumptions, challenge, perspectives, transformative learning. So of course, experience everything that we have experienced in our lifetime, and as we all know, experience is the best teacher. So natututo tayo within our experience. We get to learn new knowledge, information, skills, attitude, and insights. Now from this experience, we get to learn, or we get to construct our assumptions that become our values and beliefs. Now, with the new appearance of experience or situations, the assumptions that we already have is now challenged. Kasi nga, may mga new experience na tayo, so yung assumptions natin is na-challenge na ng bagong insights or ng bagong ideas. Now, having all of this is magkakaroon na tayo or will undergo the transformative learning, because our first experience or our initial knowledge due to new experiences now changes or transform to something new. So an example para mas maintindihan, for an example, a kid. So a kid, if he was able, so kapag may nakita siyang dog, so ano mang characteristic ng dog? Ang characteristics ng dog is four-legged animal with tail. So if the kid was able to see a dog, so makikita niya, oh, that's so he will learn, he get to experience and assume that that is a dog. So further, kapag nakakita siya ng another animal that has four legs and a tail, then he will assume that that's a dog. Kung makita siya ng cat, i-assume niya na that's a dog. But then if you get to correct that assumption, sasabihin mo, no, that's not a dog, that's a cat. Kasi nga cat naman talaga yun. Pero dog lang yung tinawag niya kasi same ng characteristics ng dog. So, by that time, yung knowledge niya or yung initial knowledge ng bata is challenged. So, marirealize na hindi pala lahat ng four-legged animals and my tail is a dog. Yung iba, lion, yung iba, cats. And within that learning, within that learning, transformative learning has occurred. Now, the purpose of transformative education is to empower learners to see the social world differently and through an ethical lens so that they will challenge and change the status quo as agents of change. Now, as we undergo transformative learning process, we also become agents of changes. Kasi nga, yun nga, because of new experiences and because of our initial skills and everything that we have know, it can possibly change or we can transform it into something new for everyone to learn too. Now, I think that would be all. Thank you for listening.